Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
It's these spiritual powers or palace politics why the Ooni of Ife's enemies are fighting to stop Queen Naomi's prayers, okay? Yes, they are fighting so much to stop Queen Naomi's prayers, as we have even heard that they told Ooni of Ife something about Queen Naomi's prayer to direct Queen Naomi's prayer, ways Naomi should pray and ways that Naomi should not pray. Or more, I don't understand this one, no. Yes, I do not understand the meaning of this. Okay, the palace of the Ooni of Ife may be grand, the halls may shine with royalty, but behind those majestic walls lies a battlefield, not of sword and shield, but of power, influence, and most mysteriously, spiritual authority. Okay, spiritual authority. Daylight is no longer a secret that Queen Naomi, the beautiful and soft-spoken prophetess, has been making waves since her quiet but powerful return to the heart of the Ooni of Ife. But what many don't know is this: Queen Naomi's greatest weapon isn't her royal, title, her beauty, or even her position in the palace. It is her prayer altar. Sources within the palace reveal that, Naomi's prayer life has become a source of both power and panic. Every morning, before dawn, the queen is said to rise and enter into intense spiritual, prayer, binding, losing, commanding, and protecting. It's not ordinary. This is the kind of warfare that shifts atmosphere and unsettles the unseen. But Daylight, if her prayer are a shield, guess who feels the heat? The other Oloris, the rivals, the enemies of peace, the enemies of the Ooni of Ife. Recently, strange report began to leak. Some palace staff claimed that Naomi's midnight prayers have caused restlessness in the quarters of certain queens. One guard even claimed to hear shriek in the night coming not from, Naomi's room, but from someone else's immediately after Naomi's prayer, began. Coincidence? Do you think that was a coincidence? Maybe or maybe not, but the tension is undeniable. One evening during a closed-door meeting, we heard that Palace, had a council meeting. Okay, it was a closed-door council meeting. A suggestion was allegedly raised, though, as we are hearing, can Queen Naomi keep her spiritual activity more private? But who raised this point? That is what we are yet to know. They said that one woman who is also a member of the Council of Elders raised that point that Naomi should keep her spiritual activities to herself, okay? They also said that Ikpe also said the same thing, and another man also said the same thing, okay? So basically, since Naomi re-emerged, others whispered that, even Ebony, known for her own deep interest in spiritual matters, feel her ground shaking beneath her. How can she compete with a woman who not only holds the Ooni's heart, but also wields supernatural power? But what shocked many was the Ooni's reaction. Daylight, the Ooni of Ife, who is not only a traditional monarch, but also deeply spiritual, shut down the suggestions immediately. He was said to have raised his voice, declaring no one will silence the prayer of the woman I call covenant. If you are troubled by her fire, then ask yourself what you have been hiding in the dark. They said that was what the Ooni of Ife said. Boom! The whole room fell silent. Since then, attempts have been made subtly and sneakily. Naomi's prayer area was once tempted with, we talked about the things that did to that prayer's altar and everything. Now, this is not because, people are, just envious of Naomi. These are people who are against the monarch, and they know what Naomi brings to the table, and they are afraid. And that is why you see they are ready to fight and to let Naomi come back to the palace. Naomi is a voice. See, let me tell you something. I've always said this. You may not believe what I am saying or anybody is saying. There are people who are called by God. When they speak, it happens. When they command, it happens. When they kabash, it happens. And the backyard of the enemy feels it, like they feel it big time. And this is one of the biggest challenge that Olori Naomi is facing, okay? That is the biggest challenge Olori Naomi is facing. one of the palace oldest servant, a woman who has served, for over 40 years, shared a vision she had about Olori Naomi. She saw Queen Naomi standing at the palace gate holding a flame sword. Behind her were the queens, trembling, and the Ooni standing beside Naomi, clothed in gold. Whether it's symbolic or divine, it's clear something spiritual is at play. So we ask, is it truly spiritual warfare or palace politics? That is what everybody is asking. Because everybody is running kitty kata kata kitty, kitty kata kata kitty. Naomi here, Naomi there, Naomi this, Naomi that, blaming her. She's the reason. She is this, she is that. What has she done, Oginidi? That you have the audacity to come and say Naomi should pray in silence, that Naomi should not bring her voice out when she is praying. Naomi is this, Naomi is that, Naomi is causing a lot of problems in the palace. What problem? What problem? Kabiyesi shut all of them out and told them that nobody has the right to tell Naomi how to pray to her God. And nobody has the right to tell a woman that he calls covenant how to speak to her God. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.